Save the Clock Tower, all next on the Morning Waffle, right after this. Okay, we know you're watching, even though somebody doesn't think so. So I don't know what's going on there, but
so many comments have transpired in 5 minutes in the studio. We have lots of things to discuss.
Yeah, we do have some things to discuss. What do you want to discuss first?
Big things going on here.
You know, I said in the title, I said we have nothing to talk about, but apparently that's not going to be true.
There's always something to talk about.
There's always something to talk about.
So if you're driving by Jamestown right now, Story. What do you see? There's a big
I hope you're driving by in a DeLorean at 88 miles per hour.
Get back in time.
There is a.
It's very Back to the Future-esque. What's going on over here?
It totally is. The top of the clock the top is missing something.
Save the clock tower.
Save the clock tower.
Save the clock tower.
And there's two men on the top of it, and the giant
hanging by the minute hand. Great Scott!
Good morning, Vicky.
And we might have a storm too. You know?
That's right.
There's a winter storm, and Mommy's drinking her wine.
Thunder snow.
Thunder snow.
The guys just informed me that this coffee cup is probably intended for wine, and I never realized that.
I said, "What do you have in that cup?"
I'm like, it's just a thing from Progressive.
Sure it is.
Okay, so what's going on with the clock, Ballard?
We have replaced the roof here at Jamestown Plaza.
Oh, fun!
Yeah. We had lots of leaks, and so we've dealt with that. And the last bit of that puzzle was to pull the broken clock tower off of Jamestown Plaza. So
was it broken?
Oh, it's been right twice a day.
Oh well, I didn't expect that the clock was functioning.
Yeah. So
ever since the lightning strike in 1955.
Right. Exactly.
Good morning, Beth.
Yeah, so we've taken it down, and it will not be going back up.
Okay, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you'll put like a steeple up or something.
Well, it kind of acted like a steeple, didn't it?
Yeah.
So when we first bought the plaza, somebody said, "Look, Story's got a steeple," and I was like, "Ugh."
Not a fan.
Yeah, it's a little old timey for our vibe.
As I left the school, it currently looks kind of like an ancient pyramid because it's angling up, and then there's this kind of square. Of course, there was two guys standing on top of it too, so it had this kind of ancient pyramid-y look.
So what's the
coming around?
What's the plan then for the?
They'll just build another little pyramid up there to kind of cap it.
But the existing clock tower, what's the plan for that? Are we going to have burn it in effigy?
No, it's going to be in my backyard as a chicken coop.
There you go. That sounds awesome.
Seriously, if somebody wants it, I think it'd make it a fantastic chicken coop. It's just sitting out here. So can you imagine that? Seriously, you could probably get that clock working again.
It needs to be in a mini golf course.
Ooh,
it's perfect for that.
That's amazing.
There's where it needs
I'll put
to
it
be.
out here on the gravel. That'll be our first hole of our up-and-coming putt-putt golf.
I was going to say, true or false, Rogersville at one point actually had a mini golf course.
True.
We sure did.
What?
Yep.
When, where, why?
It was over there by where the on Center, like right across from City Hall, where like there's a laundromat kind of over there, or there used to be. There was a little mini golf course.
Yep. You're
I
kidding
was
me.
this close to getting the batting cages that were over off Pythian.
I remember that.
Seabrook. I was real close to getting those donated to the church.
Oh.
I would have, I would have put them out here on that gravel lot.
That would have been
We
pretty
need
cool.
something like that,
It would
just
be fun.
quarter batting cages.
I
and-
would love to be able to walk out of my office over and swing the bat a little bit.
Yeah,
That would be
absolutely.
awesome. That would be very, very
And I
cool.
want something real, if we had like a real ghetto mini golf,
Just
like Fun
super
Acre.
sketchy.
Yeah.
with a scary clown.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Just
exactly
crumbling.
Something you only expect to pay a couple bucks,
Yeah.
None, none of this getaway golf stuff.
And,
is
No, that is
bougie.
fancy.
Yeah, it was real nice.
And
It
we
is
can hire
fancy.
Seth Green to be the attendant for the.
Who's Seth Green?
Seth Green is an actor. He's the little short redheaded guy. And
He's on,
that 70,
Austin Powers.
he's in
okay,
he's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
he on that 70s show, he was the golf attendant at mini golf, and they hit him in the head with the golf ball that it knocked him out. That's awesome. That's actually, I just stumbled across this. I liked that 70s show. It was a fun
remember
show to
watching
watch.
I
it
never
back in the
got
day.
into it.
It was fun to watch.
caught a couple episodes.
By today's standard, it was very clean. At the time it was
Yeah.
written, it was edgy. It's not edgy by any means
no,
now.
Edgy's changed.
But I just stumbled across on Netflix. They've got
Yeah.
a new Netflix series called That 90s
90s
Show, and I've watched the first couple
my
episodes of it.
goodness.
It's pretty good.
Is it pretty good?
It's
Everybody's
pretty good.
grunged out, listen to Pearl Jam and
Yeah,
Nirvana.
flannel everywhere.
yeah,
But
hemp
it's
necklaces.
Red and Kitty
Playing
are
hacky
back.
sack.
They're back in
Yeah.
Red and Kitty's house.
Yep.
Eric and Donna are married. They bring their daughter Leia because he was totally into Star Wars, right?
Yep.
And so you get Kelso and you get Jackie. And
saw
they
the-
all,
the
of
clip
course,
of that
Danny
the other day.
Masterson's not going to come back as Hyde because he's been
got in
Me
trouble.
Too'd.
Yeah, he
He's
got
been
in
Me
some trouble.
Too'd. He got canceled for Me Too'd. So their daughter Leia ends up staying with Red and Kitty for the summer. That's the premise of the show.
Okay.
But the thing that blew me out of the water the most was Fez. Okay.
Yes.
So because Wilmer Vanderlarama
Yep. That's how you
has
say
gone
it.
on to have a significant career
I don't know
on
in
TV.
what.
Well, he
Okay.
was on The Ranch as had a place in that, but he is one of the main characters now on NCIS Los Angeles. He's a
Gotcha.
detective, and he's kind of this. He's
I clearly do not watch enough television.
well, yeah.
He's
Ballard's
so
like-
lost on this conversation.
I'm sorry. I'll wrap it up. But
But
he's,
I'm all in on the 90s. So
he's uber
you had me there.
cool in like he's the tough guy. Super.
Oh, yeah, and he
super
was
smart,
not
very
in the
cool. Just a detective, NCIS agent. And to see him back playing Fez
Totally
Stoner
weird.
dude.
was just like, I can't hardly even believe it's the same
funny.
actor. I mean, that's some talent right there.
Basically, you get somebody in a role and you permanently put
You
that
fix 'em there,
person in
But
that role.
he got out of it and has had this whole other
bring him back.
heartthrob
They bring me back every
character, and then
funny.
boom, back with the Fez, and I was shocked. But it's a pretty entertaining little show. But you can tell it's 90s, yes, and they get some right, some wrong, mostly right.
time. Well, I was looking up the generations last night, what the cutoff is, because I realized that my kids are Generation Alpha. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at the cutoff for Gen Zs because I don't probably saying something
We've
derogatory.
wrapped back around, huh?
Mine are all Z's.
Yeah. I was looking at that and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize what the alphas were called. I didn't know. I didn't know they'd been assigned a name. Hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know where that cutoff is. Do you know what the age is?
It was
My daughter, who's about to turn 16, she's still Z, right?
so they're born in the late 90s
Hey, Steven.
so if you're an alpha, you're born after 2010.
Okay. All
So
right.
the Z's
So,
get
yeah.
through.
Yeah. So, Maddox is still a Z then.
So I've got 98 through 04 when my kids were born. So
I've
they're
got-
all Z.
Yeah, I've
They're all
got
Z.
03 to 07.
Yep.
Yes, so the alphas are pretty youngins.
Hey, Vicky.
Youngins.
Glad you're here.
All right. Well, there you
I'm
go.
going to.
We don't know enough about the alphas to characterize
Don't know,
them
we
yet.
have no clue
They're
yet.
just kids.
It's rogue.
Just
we don't
the
know.
kids.
That's okay. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll be all right. The kids are all right.
Kids are all right.
Kids
are
are
all
all right. They're all right.
I watched your video.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a butter,
A butter candle.
I'm gonna
okay.
do it.
So, and it
I'm
Talk
gonna
to
do
me
it.
here.
It
I've
goes
missed this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
to a deeper conversation. A while back, we discussed butter boards, on
yeah.
the show.
And I never made one.
Did you hear? Were you there for the
I
butter?
missed the butter
It may have
board.
been when you're on sabbatical. So the butter board is like, I'm not going to do a charcuterie. I'm going to take this
Oh,
butter.
I was here for that.
Yeah, I'm going to spread it on a
brilliant.
board. I'm going to
Brilliant.
sprinkle some stuff on it and make a butter board.
Yeah, a little cinnamon, a little honey.
Little honey,
Some sage.
some
You
sage.
get your savory and your sweet.
Yeah, some
So
garlic and sage.
now they have made butter candles that you put on charcuterie boards, where you take your butter and you season it with garlic, rosemary and garlic.
But you can get apparently an edible wick. I didn't know such things existed.
I didn't know either.
But it said that in the video. She's like, get your edible wick.
It's like cloth and wax.
Yeah, but
you're burning it, but it's also you can eat it.
Well, yeah.
So you mold it. You put the wick in it, and you stick it on your unmold it and stick it on your charcuterie board.
So now it's getting all melty on all the things.
And then you light it, and then it starts melting, and you dip your bread in melted butter.
I'm in.
We have a studio audience. I'm just acknowledging him. I got your text. Roddy's here.
I tend to eat healthy, but I'm all in on that.
Melted butter. And I mean, okay, so then it led me to, we seem to no longer, and I bet this is a symptom of COVID, we seem to be no longer doing a lot of this, it's January, I'm going to eat healthy, and I'm going to, do a resolution.
Screw that.
Now we're like, we want fountains of melted butter on our charcuterie boards
coming back.
With our breads and fatted meat.
Oh, man.
But then I got to thinking, has that kind of gone by the wayside? I don't think I hear nearly as much talk about the New Year's, healthy eating, weight loss resolutions.
Well, as a guy who goes to the gym just about every day.
Better insight on this.
It's still a thing, because there's nothing more annoying than January in your gym.
And it's packed. So the gyms are still packed in January.
Get off my bench. You're just checking Facebook. You can do that over there.
Because I am not going into gyms.
I say this all the time. I am for that crowd. I want nothing more for them to become a regular and to be in shape. But if you're gonna come for 2 weeks and sit on my bench that I want to press on and be on Facebook, I'd rather you just stay home. All right?
You can't flex and do it. You can't be like, I'm here. I'm a permanent fixture at the gym.
You got to understand. I'm a pastor. I'm a people person. I love people. I want to talk to people. But when I go to the gym, that's when I introvert hard. Leave me alone.
This is my time.
It's my me time. And so I used to work at James River Church, and they no longer have their gym. They just shut it down. They're redoing all that. So now I'm here in town.
I thought I saw your truck parked over in front of Kingdom the other day.
I did too.
Yeah, and
that's
so
cool.
It's my kingdom now. So anyway.
Good.
Yeah, but that's been the challenge. My son went in with me the other day. He's like, is this kind of hard for you to be here because everybody wants to talk to you? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you almost need to go work out in Republic.
Yeah.
Where nobody doesn't know you
except
as well.
that I grew up there and everybody knows me
that's
there.
right.
Yeah.
You do. Republic.
I went to Israel and 2 people saw me and said, Chris Ballard? Not on our trip. Not even kidding.
Happened to me in China.
I've been to Nicaragua once and somebody was like, Chris Ballard? I'm like, yeah, that's who I am.
In China. Ran into somebody I knew.
My kids literally say, Dad, anywhere you go, people know who you are. So so I don't know where I'd have to drive.
It's a curse or a blessing. I don't know.
Well, that's when you're an extreme extrovert. You just make lots of friends.
Yeah, but I'm not. So
yeah, I know. Well, you're a lawyer. So.
Yeah, it happens.
That's got a good joke in there. It was probably a heavy conversation at the gym.
Heavy.
I like it. I was like, we still talking about butter?
Have the drum roll. There you go.
I love it. Her one-liners are awesome.
Oh, I thought that was your joke. You're stealing Beth's.
No, it's right there.
I wasn't looking at. Looking at you.
Right there, man.
Looking at you.
I'm more focused on our viewers.
Yes, you are. I'm just like, that's a great story. Tell me more.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But okay, so it is good to know people are still doing New Year's resolutions. And
yeah,
they're
that
not
was
just
the point
eating
of that.
Fountains of butter.
No, by now they're eating fountains of butter. They've already given up. It's the end of January. They're done.
But this gal in Lauren's video, she got the edible wick. She put like a red Solo cup.
Yep.
Put the wick in there. Filled it up with a compound butter she made. And then I guess put in the refrigerator for a while.
Yeah, I think it went in the fridge.
And then it pops out of the thing, and it's like a candle. And she got a bread bowl.
Yeah,
and she put it in the bread bowl, lit it, and then you grab a piece of the bread bowl and in the butter, and melted butter because it's melting because
you need more butter in your life.
We ain't in France anymore. This is definitely in Ozarks.
This is very hillbilly.
Oh, it was a fancy video.
It was very
fancy. I do like though that we are no longer scared of butter. Remember the days when they're like, we need to replace butter with this weird mutant chemical called margarine. Because I think it had less calories, or I don't know if it was less trans. I don't know.
And everybody was like, just clogging us all up.
It was just melted plastic.
Yeah. It was plastic.
Why's my heart all clogged?
I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So I am glad that butter has resurged. And it's like when they said eggs were unhealthy. It's like now eggs have research, but now they're also,
now they're $12 a dozen. Again, I got a chicken coop.
I was going to say, back to
I got
the
a chicken coop out here if
I have
anybody
a
wants it.
themed chicken coop. Are you racing against time?
Oh, jeez.
There's so many things that you can do. Chicken time. Oh, it could just go on. It has a giant clock on it, people, in case you don't know. It's a chicken coop with a clock the size of this room.
It could be a chicken coop. You know, you cut the little,
great chicken coop.
thing. It would.
Yes.
They'd love to roost in that.
Can we
Pigeons
just
do.
put it in the roundabouts? You think MoDOT would be okay?
That
with
would be epic.
Seriously, those gravel pits out there that have no plan for anything.
gravel pits,
Let's just
do
put the
it.
clock tower right there.
Wait, where are the gravel pits?
Off
On
of
this,
over there, not the main roundabout.
Not the main roundabout. The
secondary
dog bone,
roundabout.
the secondary. Yeah,
the dog
they're just-
bone that only I use coming out of Jamestown.
I
You
use
me.
it too.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
we'll also
yeah.
use the secondary roundabout when they do 125 and 60, because then they're going to add some more roundabouts.
So we put a putt-putt golf course in the roundabouts?
I think it's okay. I don't think anybody's paying attention
I
to
would
them.
enjoy that.
Thanks,
So, does anybody? I didn't go. I thought about going. I wanted
No,
to
I'm
go.
not
Can
gonna go
anybody tell us? There was a meeting about
There was a
the
meeting.
thing about 125 and 60.
Yep,
Does anybody
didn't go.
know what's happening there? Because I don't know.
I saw some posts.
I wanted to
I'm
know,
not interested
but
in
not
providing
enough
my
to put any
opinion on
effort
that.
into finding out.
That's my thing, because I mean, they're not. At the end of the day,
they're
gonna
going to
do what
whatever-
they're gonna do.
Yeah, they're going to do what they're going to do.
and I'm just going to say this.
I just wish they'd get on with it.
MoDOT is
Yeah.
doing some weird things. They're making things really complicated that don't seem like
On this project or in general?
In general,
Okay.
like the new stuff that's been added into Springfield, the new roundabout at Farmers Park area,
Oh yeah,
Linstone
yeah.
and Republic.
Yeah.
That's
Hey.
entertaining though.
It's better
It's better than it was.
than it was.
think?
It's
Once you figure it out,
That's the trouble.
problem
Yeah,
is-
yesterday I was merging
Yes.
onto that, and there was this car that came almost to a standstill in the middle lane.
Well, yeah,
and
there's
they
no
had
reason to do that.
And I saw it. Thankfully, I'm paying attention. I'm like, okay, Mississippi, go ahead and come on over.
Mississippi.
But that was it, though. They were from out of town, and they
Yeah.
were like, "What
do you
is
call
this?
when you see a car from out
yeah,
of state and you want to
100%.
talk to them? You call them by
That's
the
what I
city.
did. I'm
Hey,
like,
Texas,
Nebraska, come
let's
on.
go Texas.
Let's go Nebraska.
It's all right, Mississippi. I get it. Come on over.
100%,
Yeah,
yes,
it's not just me.
yes.
Yep.
And I just assume all kinds of crazy things. This guy, it could be like an 80-year-old lady. And I'm like, this young man is pulling out in front of me. No.
I always love it when I do that. Come on, Grandpa, and my kids will be like, "Yeah, that's a 24-year-old woman."
Well, she drives like grandpa.
She's probably smoking the marijuana.
Oh boy, could be. You never know. But yeah, that
man.
roundabout's fun because it's a two-laner, which is always interesting.
It
You have the
is.
two-laners, which means
And there's two different ways to merge onto.
and if you are coming,
60.
there is, and if you're coming from like Glenstone way, and you're going to get on Republic, both lanes are exit lanes. The middle one is optional.
I haven't figured out how scientifically that works.
Well, how scientifically it works is if you're in the right lane, you must exit. If
Oh,
you're
I
in
know.
the middle lane,
You
you
can.
may exit. So the real trick there is when the person in the right lane doesn't want to exit and the person in the middle lane does. That's where you get your collision.
That's where you got a problem.
I'm in trouble in that when I'm now heading east on Republic Road, I keep forgetting I can't get off over there by
can't.
the nature center.
Nope.
I got to get into that left turn lane
It is good
and
that
get
they
onto the
close that.
highway. Like every time I'm like last minute getting into that lane.
Yeah, like
because
if-
it's just so in my brain. You just keep going on up the
Yep.
hill past two lanes.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. It's like, so if I think this is what you're talking about. If you're like at the Walgreens at Fremont,
Yes. Well, I go to the Korea there. But
yeah, Korea, yeah, that works.
Love eating there.
Yeah, it's good.
They have good. I like the
But if you're at
bibimbap bowl.
Fremont and
Yes.
Republic and you're trying to come home to Rogersville, the stoplight, you got to make a
Gotta
left.
remember to
if
turn
you've
left.
gotten to the
gone too
roundabout,
far.
you've gone too far. Now, thankfully,
Then you have to get an
they do
Andy's
have
frozen custard.
You can spin around.
keep curling,
You
yeah.
don't have to go all the way Andy's now.
Yeah.
You've got.
You might as well at that
You might
point.
as well at that
yeah,
point.
if you've made that mistake,
make you
So
feel
my,
make another
here-
mistake.
You
Here's
can feel
though, I
better.
feel like this proves my point. If it's this complicated to discuss, why are we doing it?
Well, because
feel like there
typically
should
it's
be-
not an original design. They're fixing what was already there.
So
and
they
that's
have to
why,
insert
they're
something
working
into-
not from a clean slate.
I mean,
don't
if you
know.
go way, 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 way back, what was right there was two posts, a wire, and a couple of stoplights hanging from the wire. That was the whole intersection.
Yep.
40 years ago, 45
I don't
years
think
ago.
it was that long ago, was it?
Maybe not.
Because it was
But I can remember.
all country 45 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That
I
was like
totally
where the
remember
orchard, orchards were.
Yep.
It was all orchardy.
The Battlefield Mall was the end of town.
Right.
That was it.
I
the south end.
remember when you would go that west on Battlefield and there would be nothing.
Yeah.
I remember that pretty well.
So it's all
It's wild. It's crazy.
It's grown up. It's a good thing.
We're old, and MoDOT does what MoDOT does.
MoDOT.
And that's okay.
MoDOT got to be MoDOT.
Just someday I think they'll figure out how to, like, you can have the roundabout here, but if we could do a loop-de-loop at the same time.
Oh yeah, I'd do a loop-de-loop.
Yeah,
I'd just completely flip around.
You know, your minimum speed.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a minimum speed there.
And then
88 miles per hour.
88 miles an hour.
It's going to be interesting to see how the construction at 125 and 60 affect Rogersville traffic, because dumping people on 186 and 125 is not a great solution. So it's going to be fun. We're going to see.
It'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
We are going to see.
We've been counting this down because Maddox turns 16 next month. And so it's like at the time she's learning to drive, there's going to be all this construction around. Like, it's good in that, you know, everybody feels like they're taking their
has to be done.
life into their own hands every time they're driving down 60, right? But yeah.
Well, you know, the intersection at Rogersville at 60, where that's the main dog bone is now, that's where we got rear-ended 15 years ago and broke both of Jack's legs when he was 3 years old.
Oh, how old was
Right.
he?
Before the dog bone.
Before the dog
Dang.
bone. Yeah, there was a stoplight there, and it was
bad.
it was in the spring.
So scary.
And it was about 7:30, and so
Because somebody's
traffic
coming
is back,
from Mountain View
Yeah.
not knowing there's a stop
and
sign.
traffic
They're doing
is
70.
backed up
Yeah.
at that time in the morning, probably a quarter of a mile
Yeah.
for the stoplight. Man, it may be a bit of
I
an
remember
exaggeration, but
stoplight.
probably not by much. And so the people coming didn't even,
Never had a
could
chance.
barely even see there was a stop sign ahead, particularly with the sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I remember.
And they
Remember it well.
bang.
Yeah.
Beth's talking about 60 and A. Is that
boy,
the
we've
one?
Missed our viewers here. Vicky has
I think
got dark and
60
wet.
and
Yeah.
A is that one that's I think it's
I haven't
over
been to
by
Willard,
Seymour.
Stephen, and I don't want to. So.
Willard's roundabout's weird and surprising.
It is
It's
weird,
out in the middle of
yeah.
nowhere. You're
You
just
feel like you could just
and I'm on a
ramp it.
roundabout.
Have you seen the?
I'm doing 60 and we're doing circles.
We're on a roundabout.
There's a GIF of somebody just launching
it.
Yeah, I'll find it. I've posted it before. It's pretty epic. It's like those roundabouts in Kansas.
Yeah. You know what they need though?
What are we doing here?
If there was a big clock tower right there,
That's exactly
people
what
would see it.
You could see it.
It's perfect.
It's what we need.
It's coming.
Got the solution.
The clock tower needs to stay in Rogersville.
But those
save the clock tower.
Save the clock tower. Those roundabouts in Kansas will catch you by surprise because you're literally on the highway doing 65, and there's a roundabout.
Maybe we should auction the clock tower at the Enchanted Under the Sea dance that's coming up.
Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
I like
Yeah,
your transition
like
there.
it.
I mean, can we do a silent auction? That way people can write other people's names on it.
I think we can make this happen.
I think we need to make
We
this
can
happen.
totally make that happen.
Of course, we're talking. They've probably already just hauled it
It's
off
probably
somewhere.
been
Yeah, it's
crumbled.
probably
It's
gone.
like, crush it, boys.
Yep.
Earth Angel.
No.
My hand.
Oh,
goodness.
man.
Classic movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Such a good one.
Have to go. You go back.
So what's
Goodness
going on?
gracious.
What's going on in this town? Anything?
PTA Valentine's Dance is coming up on February 10th. It's Family Valentine's Dance. Tickets are $10, and it gets you a delicious.
Family Valentine's. So this
Family
is
Valentine's
not
dance.
father-daughter anymore. This is straight up.
This is straight up family.
Bring the
because
fam.
Bring the fam. So, because like for example, in the way it used to be, I couldn't go with anybody because don't have sons.
Two daughters, and you're not a father.
Not a father. So, and it's hard to plan two events, right?
Right.
You know, and just it's more expensive, and this just makes good sense. And that way, everybody can. I mean, this is a little easier too because if you've got mom, dad, daughter, son, everybody just goes together. It's one thing.
Big family deal.
And food's
Everybody
coming from
dances.
Skinner's. That's delicious.
Oh.
And so it's going to be great.
And go to wildcatpta.org and get your tickets.
Just go to go to our
You
Facebook page
you should
for now.
have that domain name. You should totally buy it.
There you go.
Wildcatpta.
Problem is, Will just bought it.
Yeah,
Now he's going to charge you
Will's
double.
like, I own this. Sign there and pay this.
Sell
and
it
you'll
to
get
you.
I do not want to manage a web page. I'm going to tell you that
I
right
don't
now.
blame you.
It's. I've tried to before.
Once
It
you get
doesn't
them
go well.
built right, it's okay.
It doesn't go well.
It's difficult. You got to have like Matthew Henderson involved in something like that.
Yes,
Yes.
Matt would be a good
That's a-
He
resource
knows
for
excellent
that.
exactly
for
what
that.
he's doing. He's
So
a handy guy.
that's
Is he sponsoring
coming
the
up.
show?
No,
He is now.
Not yet.
We'll send him a bill.
We will. Well, he'll pay it too. He's a great guy.
Oh man! Oh, Beth! In a lightning storm, the clock tower chicken coop could turn to a boiler real quick.
That's fair.
We'll give you.
Oh,
There's some conspiracies now about chickens, that this whole thing is a conspiracy on egg prices and stuff, and I've seen some things, and...
That's the long laugh track.
Yeah,
that was long.
Yeah, it's always long. It fades out sometimes. You guys don't notice. We keep talking, and you miss it. But, the bird flu is really what this goes back to. The bird flu, we killed a bunch of chickens. But the question is, was a bird flu manufactured in a lab in Wuhan, China?
It's very possible.
It's very totally possible.
Anything is possible. But, okay, so PTA Valentine's Dance is coming up. I know that. I'm trying to think of other events coming up in Rogersville.
Here at Storytime, we're doing free flapjacks, 8 to 10 this Saturday morning.
Nice.
Just a free breakfast for the community. No catch. Awesome. We're not raising money for anything. It's just, we just felt like...
Just giving some pancakes.
Come and get some pancakes.
Pancakes and milk.
Awesome.
And, you're not obligated to buy anything. Just
no wine?
No wine.
I had no idea. It all makes more sense now. I've taken this to Carline.
Yeah, and every teacher that helped you in and out of Carline has been judging you. Like,
judge away.
See what kind of day it's been.
I just thought it was kind of a weird coffee mug. I just couldn't imagine me walking around with wine in one of these, so it never even crossed my mind.
But now that you've thought of it,
now I know. I'm still going to keep using it.
Tuesday again.
Yes, it is Tuesday again. It's happened. Oh, and we have Snowmageddon coming.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That'll be
Do
okay.
we?
So after we dig out of Snowmageddon, come
Pancakes.
get free pancakes on Saturday. Buy your Valentine family dance tickets.
Valentine's family dance
and
tickets.
come get your chicken coop.
And download the K-ROG app on your Roku device and Apple TV if you have those appliances. And we'll have some other apps rolling out soon. But those are out and live right now.
Yeah. So what you ask about the snow? Are we getting a foot? What's your over-under?
I don't know.
Over-under set at 10 inches. Where are you?
I'm under.
I'm going under.
These
things never pan out.
I'm going under.
Is Ron
as
wearing
much
pants?
as I
That's the
want.
question.
Ron had his pants on.
This
Ron
is
has
a
pants
perfect
on.
setup for a big snow because it's not going to be frigid cold. But I have no faith that we're going to get one anymore.
Yeah,
I just don't.
It is pretty great though that we're going to be like near or above freezing. So like this is not going to be like they're saying it's not going to be like ice on the roads.
Yeah,
forever.
But see, is that right? Because I think when the ice happens when it's like just barely below freezing. Because it rains it snows. The worst is when it rains, it snows, and then it rains.
Melty, then freezing.
And it freezes.
I don't know.
But I think they're saying it's going to stay kind of warmish.
Well,
yeah,
okay.
it's right there. It's right on that line.
It's right there.
Okay.
Just enough to be big, wet snow.
All right.
I don't know.
I'll
we'll
take it.
see.
It'll look pretty.
Yeah.
Well, in the
look
past
pretty.
couple of big snows
I
that
love
we've
it.
had, it's been frigid, and the kids have not gotten to play in it much.
Well, but the big snows around here anymore, they're late February, March.
Exactly.
Is when
Well,
we get the deep ones.
We're getting closer to that territory now.
Yeah,
Yep.
we are. We definitely are. But,
Yep.
Yeah,
Emma's mud. The mud season's
I
already
hate
started.
mud.
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
muddy
the
right
worst.
now. It's already muddy.
Very,
Don't
very
like-
muddy.
Yeah, anyway, never mind. I need to burn a lot of boxes because it's after Christmas and Amazon, and I can't get to my burn barrels because
it's muddy.
It's muddy.
But you're allowed to burn, so there's the upside.
Oh, I'm allowed to burn. I just can't get to where. I mean, I could.
You don't have mud boots?
I got mud boots, but I mean,
Put
it's
mud boots on. Man up
when
and
the
get out
mud
there.
boots are going that deep, they
Steven
come
agrees
off
it's muddy.
sometimes. It's
true.
like the mud
Yeah, you
stickier
can
in my
get-
foot and like crap.
It can suck you in.
That's a problem.
And then you got muddy socks.
I think I'm going to move my burn barrels though. I think I've decided.
It sounds like they need
I don't
to be
like
moved.
I was gonna say, it sounds like they're a little far from the house.
A little marshy.
Well, they're just they're in an area that would be a very pretty area, and they're kind of marring the pretty area at this point. So I got a new plan for them. I'm going to move them, and then the mud won't be a problem. It'll all be great. So
There you go.
Speaking
Another
of
project.
toxic things and eyesores, I was making this little craft with my kids last night, and part of it required you sticking in the oven and baking it, and then a plume of melted plastic smell coming out of the
Shrinky-dinks.
oven. Yeah,
Shrinky dinks.
I feel like that is that's a mass weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
I
Were you-
think those are
were you
designed
doing-
to take people
was that what you were
out.
doing, shrinky
Yeah, it
dinks?
was shrinky dinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they still had those.
Oh, they do. I didn't know they
I didn't know
used
what
to
you're
have
talking
them. I didn't know.
Are you familiar with the shrinky dinks?
No. My kids must have missed this.
It's
These
like-
were like when we were little kids. We did shrinky dinks.
You
I
had 'em-
don't remember it. My parents
They
were
brought
like,
'em back.
no, it's not a thing. My parents were like, nope.
So
Nope.
the shrinky
That's
dinks,
not
you
real,
get
so
there's,
they
not
didn't
real.
have
We're
to
not
buy
doing
it for
it.
you.
Yeah.
you get like there's
Sounds like my
a
parents.
sheet of plastic with a design on it,
Yeah.
and you use markers that come with
Yep.
the kit, and you color in the design, and you cut it out, and then you take this. It's about that big, and you take it and you
Yeah.
put it on an oven sheet, and you put it in the oven, and you bake it, and it goes, and it shrinks down and gets
Shrinky
thick,
dinks.
and it looks kind of cool if it's done right in
Kind
theory.
of, yeah, it kind of does. But I mean,
but-
it's not. Yeah, and of course, I for one moment, left the supervision to go do something in the next room, and Clara screams, I dropped it on the bottom of the oven. So I go running in there, and I was just using a foil sheet, and I would take the foil sheet out and set it on top of the oven. She just opened the oven and chucked it in. And I mean, I'm like,
Clara.
Gummit, Clara.
Yes. Yeah, that is brilliant.
And so it's like, it's obviously too hot.
Bake it for 10 minutes.
It's obviously too hot at the bottom of the oven, and it's like melting, and I had to grab it with tongs, and then I'm like,
Wizard of Oz and the Witch.
yes, it's melting, and then a real puff of toxic chemicals came at me.
That's what I'm saying. As you're describing this whole thing, I'm like, no wonder everybody's dying of cancer.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is a weapon that they're using against. They brought them back, and they're like, we didn't give them enough lung cancer. Here's some more. So
breathe this.
Yeah.
Fill your home with this.
Yeah,
you can be a real fireman with a vest with real asbestos, and we're gonna sell that to the kids.
Oh man, I know. It's just like,
wow.
oh, okay, and so we had that episode last night. I think they're accidentally going to disappear. That's left.
I don't know. It should have been like my parents. Oh,
Weird.
not a thing.
No, never heard of it.
That is totally such a good.
I'm sure that's what happened. It's erased from my childhood, like it never happened.
Disneyland.
Mom, I really
No,
want to
it
go to
burned down
Disneyland.
last year.
No, that's not real.
I don't know
That's,
Disneyland.
Jack
Never-
Handy.
that's just like a cartoon. That's not real.
Love Jack Handy's. They were awesome.
Oh,
Good stuff.
it's Disneyland. It burned down.
I'm gonna start pulling that with my kids and see. Be like, Mom, can we go to that place over there? That doesn't exist.
They closed yesterday.
closed,
For good.
I have said stuff like that before.
It's no more.
They're not open.
Before we had kids, we had all kinds of fun plans about how to lie to them. And it was like we would sit around and make things up like, let's tell them that leaves turn colors because they rust. Because in the
metallics in
fall, there's less sun, so the water doesn't evaporate as fast, so the leaves rust. And then because they've rusted, they're heavier, which makes them fall off the tree.
Your kids are all pretty bright, so
I know it might not have worked. But.
Well, no, I was just thinking that's probably why they're bright. They're like, we can't trust anything mom and dad say. We're gonna have to really get good at research.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like when your kids learn to read and the whole
Yeah.
world opens
That's
up
not
to
what
them in
that
the
says.
car, and you're like, there's
Oh,
starts about, and you're
man.
like, oh man, and then you start explaining lots of things.
Dad, why did you mouth those letters to mom? I know what that says.
Yeah.
I know what that says.
I can spell.
Oh my gosh.
We were doomed because Luke taught himself to read when he was 3.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
And so we had no chance with him. He
Our
was
kids
on
were
to it.
early readers as well.
Oh
It was,
yeah,
it
ours
was a
were pretty
problem.
quick too, but they're still throwing plastic in ovens.
Yeah.
Well, there's all kinds of it goes.
We did. We got them a drum set for Christmas. It's an electric drum set, and it's like so they can play it. It doesn't bother us,
just
right?
headphones.
It's perfect.
Headphones,
Yeah. And Jesse decided last night. I was working and showing some houses last night that they were going to watch a documentary about drummers, like some of the and rock and roll people typically lots of cusses and things in these documentaries, but. They were watching it, and I came home and I sat down, and then just immediately F-bombs start flying on this documentary. And
Mom,
Jesse's
there's
like,
lots of cusses in this.
Jesse goes, they were not cussing until you sat down, I swear. And I want to be like, is that the
Oh
truth?
no, it's the truth. I totally believe that. That we've
It feels
all
about
had
right.
that experience. It's like it was perfectly fine until the person that shouldn't hear this showed up,
Yep.
and then they started in.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
It's like
Yeah.
kids will sit with their dad for 3 hours, and mom walks in the door. They're like, I'm really hungry.
I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm with the shrinky dinks. I don't exist.
I'm high on shrinky dink fumes and mommy's wine cup.
hey, we got an announcement here, Vicky.
Oh,
Safe
man.
Haven Now food drive coming February 11th. Thanks to everyone
yeah.
And maybe update
Super
us, Vicky.
Bowl.
I saw last week, and I shared the post out that you're looking for hygiene items. Is that still? Are you covered? Like we've been promoting that at the church and the coffee shop as well.
Yeah, just
How
notice the bigger your comment is, the bigger your picture is on the screen. So,
Ooh,
I
that's
know what
fun.
Vicky looks like now.
yeah,
Before
see,
she was
'cause
just
look,
this.
look at that.
She was just,
Like,
oh, look at her happy smile. That's a
she's-
good picture
she's
of
quite
Vicky.
happy.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the when you run any sort of nonprofit, you're struggling on the hygiene stuff right now, especially if you provide like new socks and underwear for people because they've gotten so expensive.
Yeah,
It's hard for you
everything.
to go take I'm going to go buy $200 worth of socks, and it's like 5 pairs of, or 5
Yeah.
packages of socks.
Yep.
that are gone very quick. So
That's okay.
I feel for that right now.
Hey, you know what would be fun, I think? Vicki, if you don't mind, if this works, give us your address, your shipping address, because...
Not yours, Vicki,
not yours, but for Safe Haven now.
To be clear.
Because what's really kind of convenient for people to do is I can go to sams.com, I can buy the 5-pack and just have them shipped there, and I don't ever have to leave my house, which I'm a huge fan of never leaving my house.
That's a good idea.
Or like I do that. Like Peter's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, fine. I just buy it on Amazon, ship it to his house. He's got a house. So
there you go.
I just ship it to him. And I'm like, that's super convenient. You know?
That is convenient.
You have a kid with a house.
A who?
You have a kid with a house. You're old.
Well, it's a rented house. So, I'm totally old. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And planning for the garden planning has begun.
My third is going to C of O.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
exciting.
it's already
Fun
done
times.
deal. Done deal.
That is great.
Yeah, he's super happy. That was his first choice, was
That's
to
wonderful.
go to C of O. So
It's amazing.
he was very
Love it.
happy to get it accepted there.
Yeah, that's great because they don't have a ton of spots. It's not a huge place, so that's awesome.
Yep.
Very good.
Cool, Vicki. Awesome.
All right.
Hey, thanks for what you do at Safe Haven now.
Yeah,
everybody
Vicki
over
gets
there.
a ton of
That's
time.
just an amazing little resource we have here in Raj.
It's awesome. It's awesome for sure.
Hopefully, I don't know, but hopefully next Waffle will be in the new studio.
That would be cool.
I don't know if I can get it done.
I was going to say, that's pretty quick.
I don't know if I can get it done, but I'm hoping so. If not, 2 weeks. Surely we can get
2
it
weeks.
done in 2
I like
weeks.
it.
But,
That's exciting.
Yeah, it
It's gonna
is
be a big
exciting.
space.
It's
It's cool.
going to be cool. It may not be fully built out because
Well, yeah, I
we
wouldn't
got a
expect
lot
that.
of lot
There's
of
a lot
stuff.
going on.
We're basically building a house inside. I mean, on flats and roller stages and stuff like
Awesome.
fake house, fake
man.
studio, kind of with different sets and different rooms and stuff where
It's very cool.
we could do a lot of fun stuff. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We're moving 1 foot, 12 inches, exactly.
Is that from
D
there to there?
to C. Yeah, it's like
Is that the thickness of the walls?
pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah,
There you go.
pretty much all it is. But we're gonna get her done.
I like
All
it.
right, trying to wrap it up.
right.
Anything else? Jump the shark.
Oh, I will say, City of Rogersville said, please don't park on the roads. They need to be able to plow if we do get a lot of snow. So make sure you pull in your driveways. That's a good tip to pass out
That
to
is a good
everybody.
tip. Oh,
There you
no
go.
parking on the roads.
Don't do it.
Stay safe, stay warm.
Yep, be careful.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.